We are unmuted.
Okay. That's Jim Porter.
Yeah.
Ask to unmute.
So Jim, you're going to have to unmute.
That's my phone.
Oh.
It's my phone.
So we are recording. I could go down to chat. Okay, maybe. So far, I don't see where you can record the chats. Is that your phone?
Voicemail. Let me see. Voicemail. Hey, Ron. Okay, if you are looking for the visitation ID, it's 874-2140-5595. And then you have to put the passcode in, 314649. This is for the service that starts right now, the visitation. If you need the ID for the actual funeral, it's 823-4031-9606. Passcode 135875. Hope this helps. Bye.
So Jim Porter, are you there? If so, you can unmute.
Some people's computers just sign them on, I think.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm gonna get more calls like this. I'm having trouble getting on. We'll just have to see.
We'll just be muted then. We're not now, but
No, we don't have to be muted right now. Most people aren't like us. We're early birds. We get on early. Some people adhere to the actual 1 o'clock.
yeah. Just like most.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to start getting on at 10 minutes till in our Sunday school class. We just do.
Yeah.
That white thing needs to come out of your head. You're gonna have to-
Hello there, Jim.
Hey.
Well, hello there, wonderful cousins.
Okay, get in the picture so your head is shown. Lift up your camera a little bit.
Okay, how's that?
There you go. That's better.
I'm gonna
almost.
turn you up. I can barely hear you.
Okay.
So you can barely hear us?
No, I can now. My volume was down.
Our volume
Fix
needs to
this
go
right
up
and sit
too.
it back. Charlene will hear in a second. Natalie just called me and said, "How do I get in?" So I told her, so she should be in shortly.
Who was that?
Natalie.
Oh, okay. Hey, Joe, can you unmute? Hey, Joe. How are things in Florida? You need to unmute yourself. Everybody can unmute when you come in.
There we go.
There you go.
There's Joe.
Yeah. How are things in Florida today?
Well, today's nice and sunny.
Okay.
We had a little bit of weather this week.
Yeah, you did. Turn your volume down a little bit, Joe. I think it's kind of distorting. Hey, Dan and Nancy.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Jim and Kathy, can you get in the picture?
Well, they are.
No, Jim and Kathy.
Oh.
Carlo.
Oh.
We've got a combination of family units today.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, Pearl.
Hello.
Hey, Jim.
There's
Jim Harlow. My two cousins, Jim, one on my daddy's side, Jim Harlow, my other cousin, Jim Porter on my mother's side. They're the same age. Jim Harlow, you can unmute yourself when you are ready. So we're going to do like this is, hi, is
Can
Kathy
you hear me?
coming? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not coming for this. She's got another thing that she's doing. She'll be here by 2 though.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to get this to work right. For some reason, it's not wanting to work.
It's working fine. Pearl, do you know how to unmute yourself?
She knows how to do everything.
Okay.
Mom,
Pearl,
can
you
you
can
unmute? Well, maybe.
For those of
Unmute.
you who don't know Pearl, Pearl is Nancy's mother and she's a member of our family.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you did it.
Got you now.
Good job.
I want to just introduce everybody who doesn't know each other. And when I say in the right corner, on my screen, Joe Harris is one of the Harris cousins. Aunt Lil was his, what would you describe her as? Your second
Aunt.
mother, really?
Yeah. She's my second mother basically.
She was the sister. Aunt Lil was the sister to Mama, who was my grandmother. Okay.
And
Now, this is going to be the interesting part. So there's Amanda. Everybody who's coming in now can unmute.
Where's Amanda?
Amanda's got a picture of her.
she'll be there in a minute.
Yeah.
She's got her camera off right now.
Oh, there, I see her.
I see we've got somebody from the Hines family
There's
with
Nadine.
us. You can unmute and put yourself on the screen. That must be the daughter. The Hines family is
Yes,
Pat.
yeah.
Pat Hines was Daddy's sister, and Les and Angela are her children, and Abby must be their daughter, right? Because the last time I saw Abby was at Nathan's wedding, and she was just a 4-year-old, I think, or 3.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting just to kind of get everybody acquainted with who's here today.
And Amanda, both Amandas are here. Amanda
Okay,
Shaw
both Amandas.
and Grace Salyer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Nadine, my sister Nadine. Hello.
Hi, Nadine.
Thanks for hopping in.
So we've got people all over the place. We've got Jim and Charlene
Hello.
Porter are from Fredonia, Kansas. Joe Harris is in Florida. What city are you in, Joe?
Wesley Chapel. It's just kind of northeast of Tampa.
Northeast of Tampa. We've got Jim Harlow from
San Antonio.
Pflugerville.
Pflugerville. Yeah, I was trying to think of it.
Pflugerville,
Pflugerville. We've got Nadine and Carl. Nadine is Nancy's sister and Carl is her husband, and they're in South Lake. And Amanda Schatz is in Houston, Katie, but she hasn't unmuted yet, nor has Abby Hines. So would y'all unmute and put yourself on the screen so we can see you if possible?
What about Jonathan and Lauren?
They're not here yet.
Okay.
Dan and I are in Kansas City,
We're in Kansas City,
Missouri,
Missouri.
representing the great state of Missouri
What room is this? What room are you on, Nancy?
We're downstairs.
in our basement.
Oh, okay.
And then we've got Amanda and Christian can unmute. Nadine and Carl can unmute. Anybody can unmute right now. We're all going to visit.
Amanda might not want to get on.
So Amanda is Dan's daughter. Christian is her husband. Hey, y'all.
Hey, we're outside, so if you notice too much wind, just let us know.
Yeah,
We'll mute.
let us know.
Okay.
It's awfully windy. My garbage can blew over and scared me.
Yeah.
Noise.
The front's moving in, a cold front's moving in.
Yeah, okay.
So the purpose of this meeting is just to say hi to everybody and introduce people. That's basically it. We're just going to visit. Jim and Charlene have 3 children, and they're going to be hopefully joining us in a bit. So we kind of have 3 or 4 divisions of family represented. We've got the Schatz family side, which is Jim and Kathy Harlow. And we lost Abigail Hines. Hope she'll come back. We've got the Robinson side, which is, well, at Harris. Let's put the Harris
Yeah.
side, which is my mother's side of the family. And that's Joe Harris, the Porters. And then we've got the Dan and Nancy side of the family, which is all the Lightners, which is Pearl, her mom, her sister Nadine, and Nadine's husband. So we have this very large extended family. It's kind of hard to keep everybody straight. So Jim and Charlene, have you met, of course, you've met some of these people before because of our gatherings and things.
I
Have
think
you-
we've met everybody.
I think so. I think you've met Jim Harlow at some point in our lives, didn't you?
Yes, at some point,
Good.
Probably,
Probably
yeah.
very young.
probably so.
And Jim, I talked to Ron and he was having difficulty getting on, so I talked to him.
Too.
Well, there's
He
Natalie.
has internet problems.
Where's
so-
Natalie? Oh, hi.
Hey, Natalie.
Natalie is joining us from Colorado, Greeley, Colorado. She is Nancy's other sister. So we have all the
Oh, there's Blake.
Lightner sisters. And there's Blake coming to us from Houston, my son. So everybody can unmute. Blake and Natalie, you can unmute. And Abigail Hines, hello there. Somebody from your side say something. Oh, connecting to audio. Okay, cool. And Amanda Schatz, can you get on the picture today?
Well,
She's on with
No.
Kristen twice. She's twice.
No,
Oh, the
I'd
other.
rather not. Thanks.
Okay.
She's probably getting
Are
ready
you
to
at
go to
work?
work.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
ready for bed soon.
We're
Okay.
glad you're here, Amanda.
Yeah, glad you're here.
Yeah,
Saw Ronnie.
to know that you're here.
There's
There
Ron.
he is.
There's
Yes.
Allison.
There's Allison and Blake
Oh, wow.
from Houston. There's Ron Harlow. Ron, you can unmute. You can unmute.
Oh, that's Abigail. and her family.
Hey,
Now.
Ron.
Is that better?
That's better. It looks great.
Okay.
All right. So Ron and Jim Harlow are brothers. They were my Aunt Marlene's sons, who was Daddy's older sister. I hope y'all are keeping notes because this is going to be tricky. I see the Hines family. You're far away. There's Shireen, wave. There's
Shireen,
Wes and
hey.
Angela and Abigail. So glad to see all of you guys. If you can, and there's Dylan. All right, we got the whole Hines family from, what town are y'all in now?
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Wow.
We're represented from all over the country here, you guys. Ron and his wife, Sue.
Hi,
Ron, what
Giselle.
town are you in? Wichita Falls or just outside?
We're in Sunset,
Sunset,
which is south of Bowie.
south of Bowie, okay?
Hmm.
We've got Jonathan who needs to unmute. Natalie, you can unmute if you want to. We've got several Natalies now.
Jonathan.
It's over there.
There's Truett. Truett Harris, unmute and say hi. Truett and Joe are brothers.
Meet you. There you go.
Here I am.
Hey, Truett.
Truett, where are you? What town?
I'm in Prosper, Texas.
Okay, you're
All right.
closer than most.
Yep.
Hi, Abigail. Do you go by Abby? You do? How old are you now, Abby? 10? Did you say 10? Okay. Wow. All right. We're getting a larger group now. I see that Natalie, Leah, and Maverick are here. And
Hello.
you can say hello. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Natalie is Jim and Charlene's middle child, and those are her two children, Leah and Maverick. And
Two
they
Natalie.
live in, Natalie, where do you live?
We live in Newton, Kansas.
Newton, Kansas. Down, okay, I'm saying down at the bottom. My son, Zach Ellis, has just joined us. Zach, you and Linda can unmute. Linda Flaming, unmute.
You have permission.
Hi, guys.
Okay,
Hi.
there's Zach. He is in Euless, I guess. Are you in Euless today, Zach?
Yes.
Okay. Linda Flaming is our cousin on the Harris side. And she is in,
Yeah, I'm in Dallas.
okay. And her sister Darlene has joined us from
Georgia, from Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia.
Georgia.
Are y'all keeping records of who's all here? We've got people all over the country. This is so cool. Okay, so for those who are late joining us, we have several branches of the family. If you're with my daddy's side of the family, give a wave. My daddy's side of the family, give a wave. Okay, that would be Ron, Jim Harlow, all the Hines family from San Antonio, the Ellises. Okay, and everybody else is either from the Lightner side, the Lightner family, wave your hand. Anybody that's associated with the Lightner, okay, there you go. That's Nancy's family. Anybody associated with the Harris family, raise your hand. Wave, okay. Are we cool? Do we?
Cool.
This is kind of, normally before a funeral, the night before everybody gathers to visit in the funeral home. But since we don't have that, I think this is even better because this way we have people that got to come from everywhere. So I'm not sure who else to expect to join us. We have, I'm going to tell you this though, if they do, it's a huge deal. We have cousins who are missionaries in Cameroon, in Africa, Rick and Debbie Barden, who are part of the Harris family, and they are planning to at least come to the funeral, if not this visitation. It's 9 p.m. in Cameroon right now. So they were planning to try to stop in for this. So it's exciting. Okay, while we're here, I'm just going to pick on a few people to maybe just share a memory or two of my daddy. So Darlene, I'm going to put you on the spot first because I know you have something.
Okay. Well, I should have written down all the jokes, but anyway, so my big memory, I have two memories in there sort of joined together, but way back when we would gather at Aunt Venice's on Christmas and do the Hallelujah chorus and, the whole Messiah and everything. I remember one Christmas, and I think we have pictures of it because I was all in red. I almost wore red today for Ken, but he was my buddy on that one. And I just remember I sat in his lap the entire time. And we just, had Christmas Eve together there. But my other memory, and I'm sure he told me some jokes that time, but he was always telling me jokes. And some of those jokes are ones that I still tell to my students to try to wake them up during class because, because I at least get a groan out of them. So of course I have to tell y'all some jokes. Okay.
Can I stop you just for a second? Tell everybody what you teach and what you do.
Oh, I teach at Mercer University and in the religion department. And so, so these usually come up in my Old Testament class, sometimes in my New Testament class. So, all right. So what state of the United States is mentioned in the Bible?
I know Memphis. I know that one.
Okay, Linda, do you want to give it?
Of course you
Yeah.
would.
Yeah. Noah looked out of the Arkansas.
Okay, and so then the other one that really sticks in my memory that shows up in class is about the shortest man in the Bible. And I know all of you biblical scholars out there would immediately say Zacchaeus, right? Because Zacchaeus was a wee little man. But there were two answers that Ken gave me. So Nehemiah, that would be knee-high Maya. Yes, okay. Or Peter, because it says that Peter slept on the third watch. Okay, so I am not the only one that has ever heard these jokes. I can tell out there. So yes, you have to be pretty small to sleep on a watch.
I haven't heard that one.
You hadn't heard that one?
No.
Oh boy.
See, Ken has had a long legacy here that even generations of Mercer students are hearing those. So.
That's great. Okay. Would anybody else like to unmute and give a memory of Ken?
I'll give one.
Okay, Carl.
I know,
Love
yeah,
to.
mine or yeah. Okay, so when I was in college, well, first of all, for those of you who don't know me, I'm from Michigan, so I'm definitely a Yankee. Although I've been down here a long time now. But when I was in college, I painted here in Dallas. I was dating Nadine, and I stayed with them, Billy and Ken, at their house. Yeah. So I didn't realize the fact that I destroyed property a lot there. Apparently, I had to learn how to iron. And I think I dropped it and probably melted Jennifer's carpeting or something like that. I'm sure I destroyed the ironing board one time. Ken was one time joking much later about just telling me all the stuff that happened while I was there, but they were so generous at keeping me. And I remember sleeping in Jennifer's room. She had vacated it. So long before. And so so they were just such generous people to keep me over. And of course I was total Michigander, so I had no idea about Texas culture. So he talked to me a lot about Texas. And the only thing I swear is I told my family, I said, I think he's native Texan. I mean, I think that's actually like a nationality because he looks like, if you look in the dictionary, what a Texan would look like, it's exactly what I pictured Ken to look like. So it was awesome. It was awesome.
Hey, Lisa.
Lisa.
Here's my daughter-in-law.
Hi.
And my son.
And son.
Hi.
And your son.
Great memory, though.
So we have two new members of our group, Austin Bracy and Lisa, his wife. Austin, tell us what you're doing right now. You can unmute. Both of you can unmute.
Okay. I'm in New York right now. I'm serving with the Air National Guard on active duty. So I've been doing that I've been here since February, and I was going through a period of training before that. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, and they are married, and Lisa lives in?
I live in Hartford, Connecticut.
Are y'all close enough to see each other?
Yes.
And Lisa is, are you an obstetrician right now?
So I'm my third year of fellowship training for urogynecology.
Okay.
And Austin and I will be moving in together in January.
Oh,
Awesome. That's great. Okay. Anyone else would like to share a memory?
I have one.
Okay, Christian.
Last year, he was living at Mustang Creek up in Saxe, and Amanda and I went and we took our instruments and we played for him and the folks there, and it was just real sweet. It was funny when we were playing. He wasn't even watching us. Like, he turned around and faced everybody else because he wanted to see their reactions and show them how proud that we were his grandchildren to be playing there for them. That was just a really special memory, and I'll remember that one forever.
That's cool. Nathaniel Porter is joining us, and he can unmute too and tell us where he's originating from today.
I am in Oklahoma City. We're in Choctaw, just outside of Oklahoma City. So if you see kids running in the background, I'm also on parent duty right now, but try to hide from them. But yeah, we're here in Choctaw, just not too far from Oklahoma City.
Cool. Nathaniel is Jim and Charlene's youngest child, and he has two little ones, Kennedy and James. So we might see them from time to time. Ron, do you have any memories of my dad?
Yeah, I do. There were several times that when Dan and I were younger, Uncle Kenneth would load us up in the Rambler, and we would go riding around, and Uncle Kenneth would tell us some of it.
We lost your voice.
A second.
Say that again. Uncle Kenneth would tell us some.
He would tell us corny, and he would tell some stories about when he was in down at Tarleton State, and when he was in the Army, and it was, I would just sit there and listen to him, and it was like listening to my dad tell stories. It was really, he was a big influence in my life. So I was just glad to, that him and Aunt Billy were able to help raise me and give me a little leadership in my life. And so, but I remember things like that. We would go down also on Texas OU night, go downtown, and Uncle Kenneth would, I remember riding around a couple of times during the Texas OU parade or downtown at night. And we just ride around downtown and go right through the area there on Commerce. And those were memories that I still hold on to today.
Thank you. I didn't know he ever did anything that brave to go downtown to Texas OU.
I forgot about that Rambler, Ronnie. That Rambler. Thanks for bringing that back to memory.
That was a good car.
That's the car I learned to drive on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Anybody else can just speak up.
Lauren's in now.
Yeah, Lauren's here with Jonathan. That's Lauren. Lauren and Jonathan have Eliza and a new one on the way. What's the date for the new baby?
January the 10th.
So January 10th is very close to Daddy's birthday.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Hey, Truett, do you have any memories
I
of my dad?
do. I was thinking about that. Dad was, my father was, best man at their wedding, right?
Mhm.
And so Ken would talk about when they would go on some of these road trips, like to the Grand Canyon and Four Corners and so forth. And he would always reminisce with me about the time that they spent together, after they had first gotten married. And he talked about Maggie one time, and he made a comment kind of tongue in cheek about when they would go on the road trips, about how my mother would, he didn't use these words, try to run the rodeo to a degree, but she was very outspoken, which was not too dissimilar to Billy, so we would laugh at that a little bit. But he was very gracious. He and I did, a few business transactions. He purchased a car for me one time, but he was always very gracious, very trusting, always talking about Christ, always talking about parenting and talking about, being accountable and responsible. And knowing that I had had some challenges earlier, and he was, supportive. And, he was just a man of great integrity and great character, and he was always I'd see him get a tinge frustrated sometimes, but I never saw him raise his voice or never saw him say a cross word. And so there were lots of good memories, that I have, of him. So.
Great. I'm going to ask my son, Zach, to share a memory or two of Granddaddy. Are you prepared for that?
Sure. Well, growing up, my parents were divorced, and so my mom lived in East Texas and worked in Oklahoma. So every other weekend, Granddaddy would come and pick Blake and I up from our dad's house and take us to spend the weekend over there with them. And we always went to church and Sunday school, and I remember Nana cooking brisket for us, nearly every Sunday lunch it seemed, and her corn casserole. But one of the best memories I have is going to Washington, D.C. with a group called Honor Flight that was to celebrate all the remaining World War II veterans. And so they flew us in. I got to be his guardian for the trip, and we got to see all the different war memorials and monuments and hear lots of great stories. And we met Senator Bob Dole, and that's something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. Great memory with Granddaddy.
Tell about when you and Granddaddy would go to the Mary True home together.
So, like I said, on the weekends a lot, Blake and I would go to their house for the weekend, and Sunday mornings I would go to Sunday school class with Nana and Granddaddy, and then I guess during the Sunday school class we would leave a little bit early and go to the Mary True home, and he led the music out there for all of the residents on the Sunday service, and so he would bring me with him to do that. And I got to meet some really interesting people. I met a lady from the very first graduating class of Baylor University. I think she was over 100 years old at the time. And I know that he really enjoyed bringing me out there and visiting with the old folks. And, yeah.
And Daddy left his hymn book to Zach, in which he wrote down every hymn that was ever sung and the date it was sung in tiny little print. And that was pretty cool. I don't know if you have it handy, and if you could even show it.
I can go grab it. Hang on just a second.
Okay. Lanny and Carol are joining us. Let's rename Lanny and Carol. Lanny and Carol are joining us from Abilene. Lanny Hall, he will be speaking at the funeral.
Oh.
And he is a cousin on the Harris side, and Carol is the daughter of Aunt Faye Barden. And we are so glad they're here. We're naming you Lanny and Carol.
Okay.
All right.
Good to see everybody.
So you've got a lot of your Harris family on. We've got some Lightner family. We've got some Schatz and Harlow family on. So it's good that we've got a mixture of people here, and we're all over the country. We've got people from Connecticut, New York, Oklahoma, what other states? Kansas, Missouri,
Florida.
Yeah, we're all over the place today.
Georgia.
So this is really cool.
Connecticut.
And Georgia.
Colorado.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else?
Well, I've got three things.
Okay, Norris wants to talk.
So he was so appreciative. Every time you did something for him, he would let you know, and he would actually see that you did something. I mean, there's a lot of people that just take it for granted, but he never did. He was very appreciative. The second thing is, every time somebody came in that he didn't know, he would always introduce himself as one of the big shots. And then, so the last thing is, so when I joined the family, and we had these get-togethers, sometimes Billy would let him know that he didn't do something right. And
oh my.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not too big of a shock. But he never did retaliate. He always took the high road and just let it go, you know, and then it'd blow over. But I always appreciated him, you know, taking that high road and just being a stand-up guy.
Yeah, I can attest to that. His patience was pretty amazing with much achieved on him. And how being married myself, I realized, you know, it's you know, you got to be patient. But no, he was great at that. I really, you know, in the last few years, I've really, after, you know, as he got older and after Nana passed, I thought he kind of almost came out of his shell a little bit more. You know, he just seemed to be, you know, he would joke and like just kind of put himself out there. Like he didn't care. Like he was just like having fun. He just was real unabashed with his feelings and would make jokes even if they were terrible, and he would laugh and it didn't matter. And it's great. And it would, you know, as much as I miss Nana, I think there was sort of this like time for Granddaddy to kind of come out of his shell and be himself a little bit more. And so that was really neat to see. And he just, I really think, I know this last year was a little tough, you know, with the new place and with COVID and everything, but I feel like he really had a good, you know, last several years of his life, which I think is really great. And he was able to make his own friends and do his own things. And so I'm real grateful for that.
And he made a lot of friends. At the two assisted living places that he was in, they really both miss him because he was a vital part of that household or that facility.
Yeah.
Zach, have you found a page that you could hold up to the camera and show us what he did?
Well, this says, I think you can read that, maybe Buckner
Home
Baptist. And, you know, here's the front, inside of the front cover.
Wow.
There you go. And these are all names and dates. I'm not exactly sure what the dates are on here. And then, let's see here.
He would cut the obituaries out of the newspaper and kept them. I have found so many obituaries going through his stuff. That was one of his things that he did faithfully every day. He would always ask, he would call me up and say, Dee, did you see the paper today? Did you see that so-and-so died? That was one of our connections we had. We both read the obituaries. It looks like Taryn is trying to join us, but I see a name on it. It says Emily James. So do we need to?
That's Andrew's sister, I think.
Okay. All right.
No, that's us. I think that's just the name my phone has.
Oh.
Okay, let's
okay.
change the name on Emily James. We're going to change it to Taryn and Andrew. Taryn and Andrew are the Christ family, and they are Nadine and Carl's daughter and son-in-law.
Here, Elliot.
Yes, we've been on mute because he is a little bit crazy right now. So
they have two children, two little boys. Okay,
Can you give us a picture though, guys?
IST.
Can you get on video?
Oh, there you go. Billy Shots on. That's her Bible.
Yeah, it's got her 2803 Andrea Street, I guess.
Wow.
So,
Hi, Taryn. It's good to see you. Okay, I want to ask the Hines family, can you guys speak really loudly if you'd like to share a memory of my dad?
So I have one, a fairly recent one. We went down to Nathan's wedding at Galveston, and I don't know, Abby was still pretty little, and Uncle Ken got her, and they got out on the dance floor. I don't know how long he danced with her for 45 minutes. He was dancing, he was holding her, then she was down on the floor dancing again. But that memory has stuck pretty well in my mind.
That's great. He loved to dance. He and my mother were really very competitive dancers at one time, I think, which is kind of anti-Baptist, but hey.
Jennifer, can I say something?
You certainly may.
I'm probably the oldest one here.
You are now, Pearl.
Okay. I have the unique privilege, Nancy's parents and Dan's parents, we were good friends. We did a lot of things together. One of the things we loved to talk about was our ages, because in January, Ken would move up, and then in April, Billy and Bob would move up, but we had to wait till October when I would have my birthday. Then we were all exactly 2 years apart. But that's the way I kept the track of ages of us, because we were 2, 4, 6, 2 years in between. But I'm thankful for the friendship that we had and the things we did together. And after Billy died, we went over to Ken and we would take lunch, and I would heat it up there at the house. That's when he was still in the house. And we would sing a hymn before we had our lunch together. But we had a lot of good times with him. I appreciate it.
Pearl has been so faithful to visit him at whatever place he lived at, and Bob too, until he went to heaven. And actually, Daddy passed on Pearl's birthday, October 12th. So now she has something else to file away in that.
That's right.
Thanks
for mentioning that. Yeah.
Anybody else?
So, can I share something?
Sure.
So 41 years ago, when I first started dating Dan as a mere 21-year-old, 20-year-old, correct. So the first time that I was going to get to meet Ken and Billy was after church on, this was on an Easter Sunday, and this was in the evening. And so Dan's like, it's time for you to come meet the parents, So I walk in, and about the time we're walking in the front door, he's walking in from the garage door, and he just walked in and, in that Texas drawl, well, hello there. I'm Dan's older brother. And I'm like, oh, I for a few minutes wasn't really sure. So he had that I'm like, there's another brother I didn't know about. But he kept a straight face, how he did. We all know he had that very dry sense of humor. So that was, and then to beat all, they sat me down in, I think it was either that green or yellow chair in the den, and he was working for Toshiba, and he had the very first, what was it
Video
called?
camera.
Video camera. And he said, "We're here, have a sandwich." And they took a video of me eating the sandwich.
I mean, this was cutting edge video back in 1979.
79, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I have to say this for the benefit of everybody who doesn't already know it. Nancy is a member of our family because of me. So Dan Schatz, when I was young and at a church, Reinhardt Bible Church, and we had a women's group that had a director that left. And I said, my brother could come over and lead our women's group, choral director. And Dan came to Reinhardt because of me. That's where he met Nancy. I had met Nancy when she was in 9th grade in junior high school. I taught at her school, and we played duet piano together on a program. So here's Nancy again in my life, and Ken meets her, and they get married, and everything happened from that. So that's how the Lightner family came into the Schatz family. Yay!
All right.
Okay. Anybody else? We're gonna wrap this up today about 10 minutes till 2, and then we're all gonna sign off on this Zoom and rejoin on the new Zoom for the service. Is everybody good with that? I hope.
Jennifer,
Yes.
I'm not going to have time to tell this quick story
Okay.
at the service, but Carol and I were remembering yesterday that Billy and Ken came out and saw Carol's mom when Carol's mom went into a nursing retirement facility, and she was in independent living, and she took them down to the dining room, and they got their food, a buffet, and then Ken got up to go get some pie or tea or something. And in the meanwhile, a man came down and sat at Ken's seat and began eating his lunch. And so when you talk about patience, I think Ken just went back and got another plate. But that just demonstrates his patience. And we all had a good laugh over the years as he would bring that story up and retell it.
A good one. Okay, we haven't heard from Jim Harlow. You want to share anything, Jim?
I was just trying to remember back. I'm a genealogy nut, and our mom passed away before I had an opportunity to really get any information from her about her early childhood. And we were visiting Ken back, I don't remember how many years ago this was. I brought a tape recorder, and I was asking him about to describe his and my mom's early days, and went through both sides of the tape, recording his and their life story, their early story. He was just engrossed in the tale, and like a lot of us get when we talk about our memories and everything. And that was so great, just to be able to sit with him and have him tell us about what all he and his older sister did when they were little kids. And I've incorporated that into, I have put together my mom's biography, and still working on that a little bit. But I've incorporated his narrative into that biography, and it's really helped make it complete, and helped me understand a little bit more about her early childhood. And he had some fantastic old pictures, and I managed to snag a whole stack of those and bring them home and scan them in, and now I've got them on my computer. And so it's really that was really a great memory that I have of being able to be with him and see him waxing eloquent in his own way there, describing their early childhood. And that's really a treasure for me. So I really, of course, we always enjoyed coming to visit them anyway. And it's just a nice memory that I have of him. He was always so enthusiastic in that.
That's great. I want to welcome Rick and Debbie Barden from Cameroon.
Oh, yeah.
Can you unmute and say hi? And then let me give you a little, for those of you who don't know the Bardens, I want to give you a little background on them.
Oops.
Okay, there you go. Hi, Rick and Deb. Rick and Deb work at the Baptist Hospital. Here they are. They work at a Baptist hospital. Rick is a doctor. He's a pathologist. Deb is a nurse. They work at the Baptist hospital. And tell them where.
In Bingo, Cameroon.
Okay, and what time is it there now?
About 20 to 9.
I'm so glad you're here. You get the award for coming the farthest. The relationship here is that Rick.
I'm glad our interview is working.
Okay. Rick and Carol, Lanny's wife, Carol, are brother and sister. They belong to Uncle Jess and Aunt Faye, one of the Harris line. So they're cousins to all the other Harris people we've got on the screen right now, okay? So I'm just trying to give you all a little bit of background information. Like Lisa Sappenfield Bracey, you're learning a lot about the family today, honey. you're getting a what do you call it? I don't know. But anyway, we're bombing you with all this stuff, information. Anybody else want to share? We have a few minutes left.
I did want to share while Jim Harlow was talking, I have a picture I've been holding on to that Granddaddy gave me a while ago. So I just wanted to share that really quick.
Is that Nana too?
Who is it?
No, it's a sister.
Oh, it's Aunt Marlene and Daddy. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was Dana too, but it's not.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get everybody connected here so we can all have these various pictures. Allison, do you want to say anything? You're the kind of the newer member of the family.
Oh, sure. I just think from the time I first met him, he was always just so sweet and warm. And the first time I walked in and met him, he just gave me a big hug. And he was so happy to meet me. And he was so happy that Blake found such a perfect wife. No, but I just feel like we always had a really sweet connection. And just over the past, 2 or 3 years, we were calling him, trying to every Saturday and talking to him on the phone. And he just always had good stories and was just so sweet and always sweet to me and always happy to hear from me. So he was just such a warm and generous and kind man. So I feel like every time I was with him, he just always had a smile on his face, and that's how I will remember him.
He was very proud of you. He loved you. Anybody else? I don't want to tell anybody, no, you can't talk. Please, if you want to say something, speak up.
I would love to. Oh, you can go, Natalie.
It was just quiet here for a minute, and I thought I would try to say something.
You can go right after me. We had, as the Bracey family has just appreciated so much that through the years we've been included in the Shots family birthdays, but other holidays, especially the Christmas Eve sing-along, which has just been a tradition that we've loved being able to continue and be a part of. And so much so that, I think my kids consider Granddaddy and Nana third grandparents for them. And that's just been a real blessing. It's something that not a lot of extended families and in-laws, manage to do, but we've just been really blessed by that. And Granddaddy's always such a bright spot at the sing-along, always, especially love the, I heard the bells where the men sing, and he and my dad would always and sometimes Norris would jump in and help him take one of the verses. And it's just so sweet to remember hearing him and my daddy singing together. And so we will miss him.
Natalie, you can go ahead and unmute.
I was just I've just been remembering him and thinking about all the fond memories. But one thing that I just as a whole, just remember my boys growing up and almost thinking that they had a third grandparent, which was awesome. My husband's dad was also called Granddaddy. So it was like, well, we're going to see Granddaddy and then the other Granddaddy. So I just always really appreciated the way, your dad and your mom both just kind of took my kids in under their wings. And it was just awesome to be a part of a whole family together like that. So.
Yes, he did think of y'all as extra grandkids, that's for sure.
Jennifer, I think about, I think about how dear relationships, how important relationships were to Ken. I remembering too, you remembered everybody he'd ever met. And once he was with Mother we were in the church service there at the retirement center when they'd come to visit Mother, and I was there too. And he said, "I believe I know the lady leading the singing." This was a lady who lived there. And I said, "Okay." And he said, "I believe I knew her husband at Tarleton." Anyway, it was just so interesting that he reintroduced himself to her, and he continued to keep up with her. Would call her when he went back to Dallas. He would call her and just to see how she was. And remember, he told me that he would give me progress reports about her. And it was just so sweet.
Can I get you and Lanny to tilt your screen down just a smidge so we can get Carol's whole face in? She's
I can
blocked
see
by
my whole
Lanny and
face.
Carol. She's blocked by her name. Okay,
Is that good?
a little bit more.
Oh dear, you'll see every wrinkle if I get too close.
Okay, you don't have to get closer. Can you tilt your screen or not?
It's okay.
I'm tilted as far as we can.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay. All right.
Okay.
We're counting down to the last 5 minutes or so. Would anybody else like to say anything? Charlene? I know Jim's going to say something at the actual service, but if you want to chime in, here's your chance.
Well, I just always appreciated the way he took us in as a family. I mean, he loved our kids so much, and our kids always appreciated, and we appreciated our time. We would come stay with them, and we would go to bed, and the next thing Jim and I would know, Billy and Kim would be sitting on the foot of our bed talking to us. and we loved all the time we got to spend with them, and they've just always been a joy in our lives.
And I want to follow up. The thing that I remember most probably happened longer than anything else. Whenever I was a little kid, we lived in a duplex next door to Billy's parents. This was before Billy got married, and Ken would come and visit. And some of this I remember, and some of it actually was told to me. He evidently said to me one time, "Hey, Bud," and I couldn't say D's at the time, so I called him Bub. And we have, in my family, it is from that day forward, it has not been Billy and Ken, but Billy and Bub. And I used to call Billy every Friday afternoon, and I put on my calendar in my office to remind me at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon, I would call Billy. Well, whenever Billy passed, I started calling Ken. But on my calendar, it didn't say call Ken, it said call Bub. And so I continued to do that up until the time, just a few months ago, when he quit answering the telephone. But he kept me informed on every family member and everything that ever happened, much like Jennifer said. And one other thing, when my mother died, she had not been able to go to church for a while and really didn't have a connection with anybody. And I had such a strong connection with Bub that we asked him to be the officiant at my mother's funeral. And as I expected, he did a very admirable job. And that's something that I've always appreciated about him.
Thank you. You will see this morning in or this afternoon in the service in a few minutes, pictures of our Christmas Eve sing-alongs, and there is one at Aunt Venice and Uncle Earl's house. So when you see it, just scan it real quickly. You'll see Jim and Charlene and a number of our family members. Okay, Deb and Rick, anything you want to say from Cameroon? You have to unmute. You have to unmute. There you go.
Just happy to be able to join in. And yeah. And I just always loved being with Ken. I've always felt loved by him. Yeah.
Yes, he made everybody feel very comfortable and very welcome.
And he loved seeing you guys too. All right, this is your last chance to share because we're going to be signing off in a second. Anybody else? I just want to thank you for making the effort to join us today. I think this is a great way to get together. We need to do this more often. It would be great if we could have more small family gatherings like this. And I'm not sure what your holidays hold, but I hope that you and your family will have a safe holiday season, and that we might be joining our families together on Zoom this year for the first time ever. It's awfully hard to sing on a Zoom, so I'm not sure how we're going to pull off our Christmas Eve service this year. Okay, we're going to say goodbye for now.
Thank you all for coming.
Everybody's good for, okay, Connor was rushing back to his apartment to get on. Guess he didn't make it. Okay, so Connor is Nadine and Carl's other son who will be joining us for the service. If you have any problems getting on to the next one, text me real quick or somebody that you know, and we should be able to just click off this one and then join the next Zoom.
Okay.
And I want to just tell everybody how thankful I am that you came. It's so good to see the Hines family. I wish I could have seen you up a little bit closer. Miss you, Rain, we miss you. And we're just looking forward to, the service today, and I hope you're blessed by it. It was great. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.